Hey there friends, mindlessbile here, and we're back for another channel news update. As always, it's been about a week, and I like to usually wait a week before we come up with another channel news video. But it's been a hell of a week. In the last 14 days, I've worked straight. I got almost like 120 hours on one paycheck and making that PS4 money, or at least I think I'm going to buy a PS4. We'll get into that later in the video. But first, we're going to talk about the games we've been playing. First off and foremost, I haven't been having the chance to play No Man's Sky, unfortunately. I started a bunch of new games after the suggestions of Mr. J. Charles, and not that I was, following his suggestion to the T, as he made in the comment afterwards, to do what I want to do, first and foremost, before I start doing things that other wanted people to do. And that's, always the way I felt about everything. But he made a good point. It's like I'm doing this channel with the hopes of it being successful, and if people are giving me shout outs and they come to my channel and all they see is No Man's Sky videos and they don't like No Man's Sky videos, and there's no reason for them to come back. And I do like to play other games. I love tons of other games. That was just the game that inspired me to start making YouTube videos, so I wanted to spend a lot of time on it. And I'd like to, on my next 2 days off, since I finally have 2 days off, to put some time into it, maybe make a video for you. But while I was playing, I really haven't come up with much of anything to show you before I kind of quit playing for a while. So, hopefully there's been some changes or updates and it's a little bit better or different. We'll see. Now, I started playing the first Half-Life, and not all the videos are getting a lot of views, but some of them are up to like almost 18, 15, and I'm pretty impressed with that, and I'm pretty happy that there's actually a market out there for Half-Life videos. I know some of them has been my friends, personal life and my YouTubers, but that's not enough to account for 18, 20 views for a video. So it means that people out there still love the Half-Life series and want to see the videos and are watching mine, and that's great. And, I love that, and I definitely want to play the rest of the series. The two add-ons, Blue Shift and Opposing Force, Half-Life 2, the two episodes 1 and 2, the Portal 1 and 2. I'd love to be able to play them all eventually, but it's going to take some time, obviously. Now, we started playing The Evil Within, a survival horror game that was, it's published by Bethesda, but it's Tango Gameworks or Tango Software or something that actually developed the game. And it was directed by the original director, I forget his name now, I should have wrote it down, from the original Resident Evil. And it definitely shows, since I'm constantly running cranks and getting myself into sticky situations that are kind of hard to get out with, and it's kind of done in the modern, new survival horror style with the over-the-shoulder third-person view and a little bit more action-paced. And I gotta say, it's a bit unfair that they gave zombies guns and the ability to create traps. It's almost worse than playing Ninja Gaiden 2 when they decided to give ninjas rocket launchers. It's like if ninjas and undead weren't tough enough, we're going to start arming them now. But, people get tired of the same old, and it makes a new challenge. And I'm enjoying it, though it's, definitely a tough game because I'm trying to explore and get all the collectibles and everything in one playthrough. It's hard to play games multiple times while YouTubing, which I still say is the only negative thing about YouTubing, is we're only getting to play a game for a half hour, an hour, and then having to sit through editing for 2 to 3 hours and uploading and formatting to 1080p. It's kind of slowed the gaming thing to a standstill, where normally I'd be playing for like 6 hours, 8 hours straight, and almost beating games in 2 days. But now that I've started playing other videos, I'm kind of enjoying, though, just jumping back and playing like 2 different games in a day in short little installments. It's kind of fun in its own way, in the way it kind of sucks. We started up the forest again. They've had a lot of changes, and it's always looking better and better, and it got way more stuff. They're balancing the gameplay, making certain things that were too hard easier, and certain things that were too easy or hard, making the AI way more aggressive and intelligence, and just loving seeing that game get better and better, and hoping that it'll eventually have a release on PS4 or whatever consoles will be coming out next, so that other people can play it other than just the PC gamers. Now, as I said, I've been working extra hard and putting in a lot of overtimes with the intentions of getting consoles so I can get an upcoming game, which is a rather big upcoming game that releases in November, and wanting to play it. Like I said, I still haven't announced it yet because I'm still on the fence about whether or not I want to play the game. And now actually getting the money together and seeing how much I made within the last 2 weeks, plus what another paycheck will do, I'm starting to wonder if I should even get a console or should move out of my house, out of my family's house, and get a nice little apartment, because it's kind of hard to record here. As you can see behind me, I don't really have much room left in my room anymore, and it's kind of tight and constricted to try to do anything, and gaming videos is not all that I want to do for this channel. Other people, my subscribers who I've been talking to, one of my other goals is eventually to start hosting monster movies in the classic creature feature, chiller theater, whatever style of, a little bit over the top costumes and a nice set and everything, where I come in between, half hour, 15, 20 minutes intervals, talk about the films, maybe do goofy little skits. And I, obviously can't do that here. There's no set I can build here. And I just don't want to sit here in a chair and talk about the movie. That's boring. It's like I want to actually do something funny. It's always been my biggest dream to be a monster movie host, since they're always shutting them down or they're not getting any credit. They never last around for long. The longest running run here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I'm at, is the It's Alive show, and it's been on the public access. And since the cable companies changed shit, I can no longer watch it without getting a special package, and I just, in general, quit paying for cable a long time ago, so I haven't seen these guys for a while. But the It's a Live show is great, and I really don't want to go on public access and blow up their spot. Not that I could get there or afford there. I don't even know how you get on there. I think anyone can get on there, but it's hosted by a guy named who calls himself Professor MC Square, along with his pals Stiffy the Dead Clown and Pointy, and they do a great job. And they mostly do like what I'm initially going to intend to do is what are public domain films. Anyone who doesn't know what a public domain film is, it's a film that eventually the makers of the film quit paying for the rights to own the rights to the film and distribute it. So now anyone can go on and do whatever they want with this film. They can post it on YouTube, whatever. There's no copyright laws. If you want to package it on a DVD and sell it, you can, because nobody technically owns it. It's public domain. And there's a ton of great cult films and old horror films from all eras, really, that I would love to show. And, eventually if this channel ever becomes successful and I start making money, and yeah, I know everyone hates that. It's like I want to get paid for, putting in work into something. I know I'm the boogeyman. I don't really give a shit. I'm not putting into effort for something for nothing. I don't want to be a filthy rich YouTube millionaire. I don't want to be a PewDiePie or a Jacksepticeye. It's not my thing. That's just, I don't want to have to work for a goddamn living doing something I hate to be a part of a world that I hate. I would much rather do something I like and contributing to something I like and being able to make a decent living off of it. Hell, I always said if I can make half of what I'm making now at my job, I'd quit my job and quit cigarettes and stop eating for 2 meals out of the day, just so that I can have the privilege to make more content and spend more time trying to develop the channel. But it's like I know a lot of people are sensitive about that, and it's not like I ever want to set up a Patreon account or anything like that. It's like I don't know how I feel about that. I see a lot of people doing it, and I see a lot of people getting backlash. I watched the No Man's Sky gamer. Once he got up to like 10,000 subscriptions, he asked for a Patreon account, and people just ravished him in the goddamn contents. It's like, oh, you want us to give $2 or something like that. It's like not like you have to freaking give it. Just because he's asking for it doesn't make him some kind of monster. Is it so horrible to want to get paid for making something? I mean, for the most part, just getting it off the ads. Nobody's pulling any money out of their pockets and giving it to the creators. So I don't understand what the big deal is about selling out or whatever that crap. I grew up being a trench coat wearing goth kid, so I of all people should hate the advertising company and selling out. But then I had to grow up and going into the working world and subjugate myself to the rest of the world's requirements in order to do so, and it's kind of sucky, and I'd rather not have to do that. So I really don't care how anybody really feels about that. I do want to make money here, though I haven't made any money, if that makes any of you haters feel better about the whole monetization thing. But it's like I want to offer more stuff, and I don't know, it's like if I move out I can make a nice set, but it's like my computer's acting kind of weird, and I kind of want to set myself up with a console in case my computer craps out on me and I can no longer do anything. I'm going to toss up between the PS4, getting the Xbox, PS4 Pro instead of the PS4, whether to wait for the Scorpio. I got no idea. So any suggestions on that would help. But also we got this whole censorship thing going on here on YouTube now, and I'm really not that worried about it. It kind of pisses me off. I will say that the people make the obvious point that this shit was here all the time. It's not like any of the rules have changed. They're just now actually enforcing them. But, seeing as how I'm low, got 21 subscribers and, get maybe 10, 15 views a thing, I don't think anyone's going to shut me down, because I'm really, in real life, I'm terribly offensive and nasty and got all kinds of horrible, awful things to say. But for some odd reason, when I come home and I'm doing YouTube, I'm not as hateful and monstrous as I usually am, because I do actually enjoy what I'm doing here. I have a lot of fun doing it, and it's like, I find that I really don't have that inspiration to be the nasty, awful-minded person that I usually am. Though I will say the evil within's kind of inspiring some of my more darker commentary that I've ever had, as opposed to just kind of being a narrator, kind of just trying to talk or be informative about the game. And I am enjoying that, because I feel like I'm finally opening up more and being able to come more myself. So hopefully any of my current subscribers or people aren't finding those videos more offensive or something that they don't like. But that's who I am, so what, I can't do nothing about it. And I'm sure as I keep on playing and doing YouTube videos, things are going to keep on getting a little bit more vicious, because I am kind of a vicious person. Now I'd like to make a shout out to a guy who approached me. And unfortunately, this guy's name's Jid Lid. And I'm sorry, Jid Lid. I would have checked you out way before you had a chance to comment on me. But when I saw Mr. J. Charles' shout out video, and I just thought he was doing a thing for some game he found, and he was just kind of getting into the character. I didn't think it was actually somebody different, and at that point I was really busy and wasn't having the time to watch most people's videos, or I would have checked out your badass comic series a long time ago. I mean, this guy, he does excellent animation and like cult underground kind of comic style, and he involves the community in creating his characters and where the story's going to go. And I mean, he's done 13 episodes for his first thing, Jid Lid. He got a couple other projects like The Rise and Fall of Boppo and a few other things. I've only had a chance to finish the first 13 episodes of Jid Lid so far, and I loved every minute, full of everything that a cult film or any type of cult media is full of, from cultural references to over-the-top archetype characters from different styles of genres, all piled into the ones. Even threw Barrett from Final Fantasy VII in there, and that's great. You know, everyone loves fucking Barrett. Even people who haven't played Final Fantasy VII kind of know who Barrett is, you know. And it's Jid Lid's kind of a cowboy-esque type of Western character who is there's more to him than meets the eye, and he's kind of subjugated by himself and the environment around him with alcohol and everything else. And he's kind of the anti-hero in the style of Snake Plissken or Mad Max. You know, he's kind of a dark kind of guy, but in the end, he kind of does the right thing. You know, initially, I think he's kind of doing it for himself, but I think eventually he's going to try to turn it around till he becomes something much more than just self-orientated character. And he got great side characters, all kinds of cool stuff going on, from ghosts to giant spiders to monsters. I mean, he's just throwing everything in there, and I absolutely love it. It reminds me of the old Dark Horse comics from well, not the early 80s, the mid 80s, when they were still doing black and white comics, when they were still just an independent nobody company, and just full of creativity and interesting things, and very good quick short videos that keep you wanting to watch the next one. You know, he doesn't bog it down with a 10-minute long thing. It's like 2 or 3 minutes, and by the time it's over, you barely even know you'd watched anything, and you're instantly clicking on to the next video to watch it. And he's very great with his community. I mean, he watches every video and comments on it. He's been having some trouble with things being marked as spam. He just left me a comment like an hour or so ago that I had to approve, and I don't know why. And I'm glad that I now actually went into the process of figuring it out, because it's happened to me with a few other people. I think his might be because he swore on it, maybe the new censorship things, but I've had to comments disappear before where people were using perfect language and praising me very nicely, and I've lost the comments. So I don't really know how that's working out, but I hope he is able to figure that out, because he's very great with his community and everything, and he deserves, old friend, you know, all my people, definitely go check out his stuff, because you'll definitely enjoy it. Or at least I hope you'll enjoy it, because I know I enjoy it, and you guys are into the same stuff as me. Other things I'd like to do in the future of the channel is I'm also a big kind of outdoors guy, and I'd like to do kind of survival videos. I'm not no expert of survival or anything like that, but the angle I'd like to go at is kind of a guy with book smarts who's watched videos, read tons of books on survivals, know the diagrams, what problems that book smart person would know experience would face when going out and, say, trying to build a fire from scratch with no matches or lighters during, you know, a wet time in the forest, and certain things like that. And it's something I've always wanted to do. It was actually the first thing I've ever thought of on doing YouTube, long before I thought of doing gaming on YouTube. I thought that would be a perfect medium to start survival videos, as long as kind of nature videos showing the kind of animals and mostly insect and reptile life that's in Pennsylvania, which is not a whole lot here, but some of them are very interesting and nice looking animals, and I'm know a good bit about them that I kind of like to share and show people. So it's kind of two different things I'm kind of having in the future. They may be years down the road, I don't know. But, you know, as I said, I've been working a lot and I'm pretty exhausted, so I didn't really, you know, come up with any videos today. So I decided to do a Channel 8 and just kind of catch up with you guys and have a talk and let you know that I'm still here, and that hopefully over the next 2 days I can pump out something neat for you. Like I said, I'd like to do another No Man's Sky video. But thanks to all my YouTube friends and all my real life friends who have been watching and supporting me and leaving me comments. You've all been great. Really encourages me to keep on working. This is mindlessbile here, saying hit the like button and subscribe if you like my videos. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again.